Well, your good friend, Sidney Powell, just tweeted this out, and I'm going to put a link to it here. But there is a link to, there's an article from The Federalist called A Rundown of Major U.S. Corporate Media Business Ties to China. And you will see that the mainstream media is clearly controlled by the communists. So you can't always say, well, CBS isn't talking about it, or how come? Folks, again, the mainstream media is controlled by the communists. On this show, Lynn, we don't take advertisers and we don't take donations. So all we're interested in is a truthful conversation. But Clay Stairs, what question would you have for Lynn Wood?
Yeah, thank you, Clay. And Lynn Wood, once again, thank you so much for being one of these new entities that we're seeing begin to rise up here in America called an outspoken conservative.
Amen.
And I want to be in that group. I want to be identified as an outspoken conservative. I really appreciated Vanessa's question just a little bit ago, because there is so much going on right now that we as conservatives just go, what? It just makes no sense. And I would just add to your answer just that there is a spiritual battle here as well. And people are deceived, and there's a spiritual battle going on. But here's a question I've got. Being an outspoken conservative, at some point, conservatives are going to start taking action. At some point, hopefully soon. We're not just going to get mad on Facebook, but we're actually going to start doing something. And when we begin to do this civil unrest and this civil disobedience, what can you say as an attorney about someone, for instance, here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, going into a store and choosing not to wear a mask, and all of a sudden the people in the store stick security on you, and security guys have a little badge, and they want to cite you or fine you or something like that. Is there going to be are people that get those citations or actually get arrested? Is there going to be justice for them in the future? When all this comes out, that this is all a bunch of...
Well, I believe that when Donald Trump is recognized as the president for 4 more years, I don't believe that Donald Trump is going to mandate the types of requirements that they're trying to get through now in terms of masks, in terms of limiting the number of people in your home, in terms of regulating the hours of your business, even in terms of regulating your ability to go to a house of worship. That's not going to happen under Trump. But what do we do in the meantime?
Yes.
I use the model of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., nonviolent civil disobedience. If you don't want to wear a mask, you have the right not to. That's your God-given human right. If they arrest you, go to jail. A lawyer will get you out eventually. If the Supreme Court is free of corruption, which it will be one day soon, you're going to have your constitutional rights validated and recognized. Our country, the power belongs to the people. That's the basis of our Constitution.
Amen.
All of the power resides in the people. We have a 50-state union, 50 states that came together under the fabric of the United States Constitution, which was based on God's law as the founders acknowledged by divine providence. That Constitution gives government what it can and cannot do. We told government this is what you're going to do, setting up a system of checks and balances so that ultimately the people always maintain the power. They flipped it on their head in the last few decades. So now people have this idea that government tells us what to do.
Right.
That's the flip side of truth. The truth is we, the people, tell the government what it can and can't do. That's what happened in 1776. When the King of England was trying to tell us what we could and couldn't do. We had no representation. We fought a revolutionary war for freedom. I don't think the Revolutionary War is going to take on anything close to the same type of scenario as it did in 1776, but the stakes are the same. We are in a fight right now for our freedom, our liberty, our God-given right to pursue happiness. And I think we want that as much for our children and grandchildren and generations to come as the Patriots did in 1776 when the 50-some-odd men signed the Declaration of Independence and pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor to freedom for the generations to come.
Amen.
Many of them lost their lives. Many of them lost their fortunes. But they gave us freedom. They gave us the opportunity in America to succeed if we worked hard enough and took our God-given talents and put them to use. You couldn't do what we do in America in any other country in the world. People need to slow down, take a look at this country and what it stands for. Our academics have taught that America is bad. That's communist-inspired.
Yeah.
America is good. America is the shining light on the hill for the people in this country and for people all over the world who cry every night for freedom.